Hey guys, so I am finally back to filming videos. It has been far too long. I think the last time I actually sat down to film a video was like 2 months ago. Yikes, that's a really long time. However, I'm back. I have finally kind of settled into my new place. This is not the filming area that I really want to have for all my videos, but I figured while I'm kind of redoing my office that this backdrop would be good enough. I actually kind of like it, so most of my videos will probably be here for now. But yeah, so I thought that for today, to kind of like ease myself back into things, I would just do a get ready with me. I've kind of changed up how I do my makeup just a little bit in the last few months, especially because the last time I filmed, it was just kind of coming into summer, and now we are full into summer at the moment. And yeah, just kind of wanted to go through things and chat a little bit. So I'm not going to talk about all the products I'm using really in depth because I'm going to film right after this a favorites video and kind of new things that I've been loving, because I have really kind of found some new favorites of mine. I really want to talk about them in depth, but I didn't want to make this video too long because usually when I do my makeup, my videos end up being 25 minutes as it is. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So I am filming this in my living room, and I'm next to a slightly busy street, so you're probably gonna hear some trucks and potentially other things, so bear with me. So I've already prepped my skin. I always like to prep it about 10 to 20 minutes before I do my makeup because my face gets really red when I touch it a lot. So I haven't really changed how I prep my skin other than the fact that I don't really use a primer anymore, which I bought the Hourglass when there was the Rouge sale, and I did like it, but then I kind of stopped using a primer just to kind of see, you know, how my skin would react and how my makeup would last, and I kind of see no difference. So I'm thankfully off the primer train because that's one less thing I have to purchase. So I've really just been prepping my skin with the Olehenriksen Sheer Transformation Moisturizer. This is the one thing I haven't changed in several months, and I'm loving it. And I also learned that this does act as a primer for your makeup as well, which is kind of cool. So that's probably why I have been able to just kind of skip my primer. And also I've started using the Josie Maran Argan Oil again. I've been using this for years, and I just kind of like the added hydration it adds under my makeup. So yeah, that's kind of how I prep my skin. So the one thing I have changed actually is my foundation. Now I have been using the It Cosmetics CC cream for a very long time, and then I saw that Becca came out with a new foundation, and I'm not really one to try new foundations because once I find something that I like, I'm just kind of, you know, I just really stick with it. But then I read some reviews on this guy and everyone was raving about it. So this is the Becca Skin Love foundation. I won't go into too much detail right now, but all I can say is it's amazing, and yeah, I think this is my new favorite. So just take 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and I really don't change this process of my makeup, but I just apply it always with my fingers and rub it in a little bit. Just apply it kind of all over. I find that this way it just like is super quick. And this also smells so nice. I can't even tell you what it smells like. I don't know what that is, but it's very pleasant and it doesn't break me out, so I'm very happy with that. So now that I look super crazy with that all over my face, I'll just take a beauty sponge. I just purchased these guys. These are the Real Technique sponges because I really wanted to get a new beauty blender, but they're so expensive, so damn expensive, that I was like, okay, everyone says these are really good, so I'm gonna try it out, and I do really like it. I find, however, that I feel like this will probably start like ripping before a beauty blender would, but for the price, I think it's still a really good option, because I think it was $15 Canadian for 2 of them. So I think that's a lot better than spending almost 30 bucks on one sponge. This foundation really blends into your skin with almost zero effort. And I almost, at this point, like I've been trying to do my makeup a little bit lighter, but at this point, I almost don't even really need much concealer, which is really new for me, except for under my eyes because I've been working like crazy. That's kind of why I've been so absent as well. Not just because I moved, but because I have 2 jobs, which is really, you know, super fun. I've been working, I think this is my first day off in 10 days. So, and before that I worked 13 days in a row, and before that I worked 11 days in a row. I just really haven't had much time to do, I mean, much of anything. But today I wanted to sit down and kind of utilize my day off. But yeah, needless to say, working so many days in a row, not much time off, the bags and the dark circles. I've always experienced bags, but I've never experienced dark circles. And that's partially my fault for probably not going to bed at a reasonable time, even when I can. But this foundation, I mean, as you can see, without even any concealer, I feel like it just gives your skin a really nice luminosity. I mean, also I have that oil oil underneath of it, but it's just, I love the finish. It looks really, really nice, I think. My concealers really haven't changed either. I'm still using the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. However, I am onto using Ginger for my summer color for my face, and I still use Custard actually under my eyes just to kind of brighten things up, but this concealer is just kind of foolproof as well. It's slightly matte, not really too matte, but it is nice for the summer because it doesn't really slip around too much. So I use Custard under my eyes. I don't really see myself changing this concealer anytime soon, just because it's just good. It's just really good. Also, this Becca, wow, I can't talk today. So also this Becca foundation is supposed to be self-setting, which I really like, and I think that's another reason why I like it so much, is because it is so warm lately. Like, it's still, oh man, it's so hot that everything kind of creases on me because, you know, you're sweating a little bit more. But especially with powdering, I always will powder my face no matter what, but it already helps your makeup not crease by being self-setting. So kind of like a self-setting foundation with setting powder and a setting spray, your makeup's really not gonna go anywhere. I'm not gonna put too much concealer on my face just because I wanna keep things looking pretty natural, but I do have a couple spots on my face I wanna cover. I am in my hormonal breakout phase, which is, you know, super nice. So I'll just kind of put that where I need it. It's always on my jawline, which is generally a hormonal spot to break out, but just a little bit, just enough, blend it down. My face is a completely different color than my body, so I have to really make sure I blend things down because I've been really good with wearing sunscreen on my face when I'm kind of out in the sun. So that's kind of it for my foundation and concealer. I've been keeping it super simple, really, really quick, just kind of like get it on, get out the door kind of thing. So now I'm just gonna set it with my RCMA No Color Powder as always, and then we'll move on to bronzer, which is my favorite part right now. So I actually forgot, before I bronze, recently I've really been liking a very natural highlight, which I really didn't think I would ever say because I used to really like a lot of highlight. However, I really like the look of when highlight looks like it's kind of just melted into the skin. I hate when it looks like it's sitting on top of my skin. So the highlight I've still been using is the Anastasia and Amrezy highlighter. It's just truly the best highlighter I've ever used. It's the only one that kind of just like really melts into my skin, doesn't sit on top of it, especially if I put it on first. So I do it one of two ways, either with a brush. I'm still using my MAC 240 brush, the synthetic one, or I'll take my beauty blender that's damp, rub it in, kind of just like pat it into my cheeks. I'll probably do a bit of both depending on how it applies. Just take some on my brush and I really start just, you know, working it into my skin, really into kind of like this little pocket of skin right here in my eye. I want to just look like I'm a little bit sweaty. I also find that if you do it first, like underneath of your bronzer and your blush, it helps it kind of keep it looking a little bit more natural, because then everything else just kind of blends over top of it, and then you kind of just see it peeking through everything else. Jaclyn Hill is the one that I saw do the highlighter applied with the beauty blender or beauty sponge, and as you can see, it kind of just makes it look extra dewy and extra intense. But by putting it on before everything else, no matter what, at the end it'll kind of be blended out. So if it looks a little bit crazy now, I promise you it won't kind of in the end of it. I also do all of my highlight, bronzer, and blush before I do my eyebrows, and I don't know why. I think it's because I like to blend it out so much into kind of this region of my face, and if I do my eyebrows first, I feel like they get too faded and they don't look as crisp as I want them to. So I will get to my eyebrows. Also, I'm growing these guys out, so luckily from this, you know, distance away you can't really see it, but they're looking a little rough. So if I do zoom in far enough to see, or close enough to see it, I've warned you. Just saying. Okay, so for bronzers, I've been using two that I am absolutely obsessed with. Again, not too much detail because I will be talking about it in depth in my next video. However, I have been using two from MAC. One's actually just a face powder. This is the Next to Nothing pressed powder in medium deep for my skin tone, the medium deep reads as a bronzer, and it's such a smooth powder. It just looks beautiful. Another one from MAC is the Extra Dimension bronzer they came out with called Delphic, and it just kind of has the nicest sheen to it, and I knew as soon as I saw it that I had to have it. So I'm first just gonna go in with a big brush from Real Techniques into the Next to Nothing face powder, tap a little bit off, and just start bronzing up my face. Like I said, my face is a lot lighter than my body because, you know, sunscreen is a good thing to be using. So I do like to go a little overboard with my bronzer, but it's better than laying in the sun. I just find the tone of this powder to be really, really nice for like my skin tone. It just kind of comes across as being a really nice bronze color. Not too warm, not too cool. I feel like it's reading kind of dark on camera, but I promise it's not. I'm not crazy in person. So the reason I like to use a face powder like this as a bronzer is because I find that it gives you a little extra coverage too. So if you tend to break out like I do, it kind of just adds a little extra coverage without it looking kind of too cakey from your face powder. So I also bring this down my neck, under my chin a little bit. And then after that, I'll take the Extra Dimension bronzer. I feel like this was a limited edition, which is really sad, but regardless, I'm pretty sure it's still available. So I'll take a little bit of this, and because it has a nice sheen to it, I just kind of put it on the tops of my cheeks and on my forehead a little bit, not kind of all over. This is my, almost like my topper, if you will. And as you can see, you can still see my highlight through my bronzer, but it doesn't look extreme. It just kind of looks, you know, semi-natural, which is what I like. So I've always loved blush. I definitely used to overdo it, and maybe I'm kind of in that realm now. But however, this summer I have still been using this quad that I made here, and this is kind of my all year round colors that I use. But Modern Mandarin and Peaches are still the two that I dabble in the most, just because they have such a nice peachy warm tone to them. Melba and Gingerly are generally my more winter colors, but sometimes I kind of dabble in all of them. But yeah, Peaches and Modern Mandarin are the ones that are my favorite. Modern Mandarin has a little bit of a sheen to it, which is kind of nice, but Peaches is that one that I'll definitely put all over my face. But just kind of brush it up really into my, you know, tops of my cheeks and into my temple area. Drag it over my nose just a little bit, and a little bit on my chin. And then I'll take Modern Mandarin and pop that, the high points of my apples of my cheeks. I really want it to look like I'm quite flushed and peachy. And yes, I'm aware that this looks like I have way too much blush on, but what I do afterwards is I take my powder brush that already has my powder on it, and I'll kind of just blend all that together just to make it look more natural. And I promise it doesn't look as crazy in person. I don't know why this is picking it up like this, but so I'm just gonna go off camera and do my eyebrows because, again, nothing's different there. I'm still using the MAC Eyebrow Styler in Stylized and the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Still my two favorite products, can't live without them. All right, so it's probably as good as it's gonna get for these eyebrows because, like I said before, I'm growing them out, so they're in a weird phase right now. So I'm gonna move on to kind of how I've been doing my eyeshadow lately. And the first thing I'm gonna start with is a primer, and for some reason recently my eyelids have been creasing like crazy. So I've been back to using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot just because it's a classic and it's just super easy to apply. I just use my finger to apply it all over my lid. Just a little bit, just a kind of a small wash of it. Just to kind of give some sort of a base to my eyelid. And I like this color because obviously it's more of a yellow undertone, which is kind of what my skin tone is. And it just kind of cancels out any of the little veins on my eye. And I keep it tacky. I don't set my eyeshadow bases actually anymore because I find that the color just stays on better and looks better. Now for eyeshadow, I still keep things simple. I don't really love to wear a lot of makeup on my eyes because my eyes are so sensitive. The only time I wear lots of eye makeup is when I'm working at MAC, and I still love doing it. I get more inspired when I'm going to work or when I'm at work. So on a day-to-day basis, I keep things pretty simple. But the one color I've been obsessed with using is orange lately. And not just on my eyes, but clearly my nails, lip color, oranges, yellow, those tones that I never ever used to like or thought I would never ever wear on my eyes, I am obsessed with. The first color I like to put down recently is called Rule, and it's by MAC as well, if I can get this open. So Rule is this color right here. It's a super lovely orange, and it is basically the base of all my eyeshadows that I've been doing, or eyeshadow looks that I've been doing. And I like to just take it on a little brush. I always use, if I can find it, I use just a little Morphe brush. It's G24. I don't know, it just seems to be a perfect crease brush for me. And I will take some of that and just kind of start working it into my crease. So I kind of put this color all over, put it into my crease, and then start blending it up as soon as there's less product on my brush. And I'll build this up kind of as much as I want. Either I'll leave it with one layer or I'll kind of just build it up to be super orange. And I used to be so scared of colors like this, but now, I don't know, I really like it. I tried to wear cool tones the other day and I felt like, didn't even feel like myself. So I'm just gonna add more into my crease and on the outer corners and blend it up and out. Nothing too precise here. I've always been one to experiment more with my lip colors than my eye colors. I've bought some palettes recently that have more blue in them, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start wearing blue eyeshadow. I never do. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love the way blue looks on other people, but for me, for some reason, I just don't like the way it looks. One day. Definitely working at MAC is, or has re-inspired me to kind of go outside of my comfort zone with makeup. Just being around other people who are motivated and who are talented, you know, helps me out a lot, because it's easy to lose your passion when you are kind of just focusing on just working a job that pays the bills. And I have that job for me as well. And I've said it before, I work at Starbucks full time and I'm working at MAC part time, working a lot, but going to MAC still just doesn't even really feel like a job at this point. It just kind of feels like a place where I can relax and enjoy myself and do what I love. And it's nice to be around people who kind of have the same interests as you. I'm tired, I'm working a lot, but I'm working towards something, it feels like, at least. So now that it looks like I have way too much orange eyeshadow on my eyes thanks to this camera, I'm also gonna put more of that underneath of my eyes. And for that, I'm gonna use this tiny little pencil brush. I don't even know what kind it is. I know it's from EcoTools, that's about it. It's just this like super nice tiny little brush. And I've been using this to kind of smoke out my under eye. So I'll take a little of that Rule color again and just focus it underneath of my eyes. I just find that this color is a really good base for other eyeshadows. Keeps things bright, doesn't ever look too dark. So the next color I'm gonna go in with, just to deepen it just a little bit, is actually from one of the new Colourpop palettes. Now this is the MAR palette. I'm gonna butcher that because if I said it with an accent, I would just be embarrassing myself. But I think this one's called, oh, let's see. So this palette, like I said, blues, I tried. I haven't done anything with the blues in this palette other than swatch it, but one day I'll get there. But the color I like to go in with is this guy right here, and I'm pretty sure this one's called Boozy. I'm pretty sure. Yep, I'm pretty sure it's called Boozy. And it's just this really nice warm brown, and I'll take that with actually the same brush that I used for all over my eyes with the orange, and just kind of darken up the outer corner just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little more dimension. Nothing crazy. I don't want to have super dark eye makeup today. Just deepen that a little bit so it's not just plain orange on my eyes. I really like Colourpop eyeshadows. These palettes are super nice. They're not quite as pigmented as I thought they would be, but I still really like them. And like I did before with the pencil brush, take that same color and just drag it under my eyes. Then I'll just take a kind of clean, fluffy brush. It's just a Morphe M330. And I'll just blend all that together. Nothing too fancy. And now to add a little bit of shine, I'll go in with one of my Tarte Chrome paint pots. Now I already had Park Avenue Princess, which is a really nice bronzy color, but because of Samantha Ravndal, I went and got the Sun Drenched color. And this one also is pretty bronzy, but slightly brighter. But if you guys haven't used these formulas, you should definitely go out and grab them. They're super beautiful. to me, best applied with the finger. And again, I'm not super precise with a lot of my makeup because unless I'm going to work or wanting to have a certain look, but I'll just take that kind of on my finger and just pat it either just in the center or kind of just all over, depending on how I'm feeling. I probably will do it a little bit more blown out today. So I apply it to my eye like that, and then I'll just take my brush just to kind of blend out the top of it. Just adds a really, really nice shimmer to your eyes. Creates a little bit more dimension. You can use these on a brush, but I feel like you get a little bit more payoff with your finger. And I don't mind applying things with my finger. I know some people don't like that, but I don't really mind. Especially for a look where you just kind of want to slap it on. And then now that I still have my highlighter in my hand, I'll just take it on my pinky and I'll pop that on my inner corner. And that's kind of it for the eye look, other than mascara, obviously. I'm not really an eyeliner person, so from here I'll just curl my eyelashes and throw some mascara on, and that's it. I like it because it's super summery, really, really easy to do, quick, which is kind of the name of the game for me right now because I'm so busy and I just kind of need to get out the door, so yeah. So the mascara that I've been using still is the Benefit Royal Lash. I did try, however, to use a new mascara, which I should know better. I know my eyes better than this, and I tried the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara, and while I loved the formula, it burned my eyes, my poor eyes. It made the entire lash line completely irritated and puffy and red. I had to get some eye drops and cortisone creams, all that kind of jazz. So for now, and probably forever, I'll be using the Benefit Royal Lash because I like the way it works. You kind of have to really build it up to get more volume, but it doesn't irritate my eyes, and I just love it. I love it, so that's what I'll be sticking with. So for lips, I've been keeping it super simple. I really only use either my Glossier Clear Lip Gloss that I am actually almost out of, which is surprising, or I picked up one of the Bite French Press Lip Glosses in Salted Caramel, and to no one's surprise, it's because it's a beautiful kind of light peachy tone, and I like to wear this because it's super easy to apply. It smells great. Kind of smells like, to me it smells like, it's supposed to smell like coffee. It has cold pressed, or yeah, I think cold pressed coffee oil in it, but it kind of just has like a true like coffee oil scent to it. If you smell a bag of beans, that to me is what it smells like. So I like to use that, or sometimes I'll put on a little bit of a Bite lipstick in Lit Tumeric. That's a really nice soft orange color too. A little bit of that with a gloss over top, and that's really it. So I'll do that now. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of this so I have a little more color on my lips today. Now this one is actually super orange, which I like, but I'm just gonna put a light wash over my lips. Smudge it in with my fingers. I think it's just the prettiest color, especially paired with orange. Might be a little too monochromatic for some people, but I don't know. I just really like it. And then I'll go in with the French Press gloss. It's more of a cream than a gloss, but it does leave your lips looking really, really kind of just supple and shiny. Everyone was really liking that flat white color, but I tried it on for myself and it was just too light. I don't like when my lips look like my skin tone. So to finish things off, I'm going to use a couple setting sprays, and I'm still obsessed with these two new ones from Cover FX. The dewy one is actually almost empty. I use this one probably the most. And also the high performance setting spray I use a lot, especially if I'm working all day long and I need my makeup to actually last from morning to night. I can't rave about these setting sprays more than I already have. Truly and honestly, I will never purchase an Urban Decay setting spray again, which is insane. They were always the ones that kind of had the best setting sprays, but the high performance one, I said this before, I made a post about it actually on Instagram saying how when I would go to the gym, finish my cardio, my makeup would literally still look the exact same when I came out. So this one is kind of the top one if you're looking for your makeup to actually last all day long. And then if you want your skin to look a bit more refreshed, I keep this actually one in my work bag, and I'll spray the dewy one on when my skin kind of needs to look a little bit more hydrated. So I kind of do a little bit of both. I'm just gonna do a little bit because I'm really not doing too much today, thankfully. But the high performance one makes your skin, it actually keeps your skin, even to the touch, you almost don't get your natural oils coming through, which is maybe a good thing or a bad thing, but in this heat, I think no matter what you do, some of your oils will actually come through, but it literally just keeps everything intact. And I also like that it makes your blush and your highlight and your bronzer kind of stay put all day long, so you don't have to really retouch anything. And then I'll go in with the Dewy one and just put that guy probably on my high points. Get any little spots, I'll just use my beauty blender, just tap it in. And that's kind of it. My makeup is super simple. Never said I was the best makeup artist around, but I really do like the way this kind of turns out. And I do it every single day without fail. Super quick for me to do now. And I just like the way it looks. Super summery, beachy, glowy, all those words people like to use to describe their makeup in the summer. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video today. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but I promise that I'm back. I'll be making more videos and posting a bunch of videos hopefully soon. I know I said I'm really busy, but I'm gonna try to not let that get in my way of making videos. So I guess I will just see you guys in my next one then. Bye.